Boiler got wet during heavy rain last night. Flashing on the chimney must have leak. I was catching as much water as I could, boiler was running and I turned it off during the rain. Now it's dry outside, turn boiler switch on and reset button won't work. Temp says 68, digital, inside the black box and there is a red light that says low water. The temp gauges are all on 0. Think they are usually 180. Please off any advice you have, thank you.
Welcome, my name is XXXXX I will do my best to help you with your issue. Well, I doubt you have a Beckett boiler with a Riello burner since Beckett and Riello are direct competitors. You might have a Beckett control with a Riello burner, red enclosure, on the same boiler. It will help to know just what you have, but I suspect your control got wet and that could be causing an erroneous low water report. There are a couple possibilities, but it would help to know just what you have. Some operating controls, Aquastat/relays, have a built-in LWCO, low water cutoff, or do you have a separate LWCO control? Once you tell me the actual brand, model would help too of the boiler, and if you have a separate LWCO I'll be better able to assist you.
Sorry, it's a Peerless boiler and Riello burner. There is a separate black box says hydrostat on it. That's where the digital temp is and the lights with the low water alert is.
I still need a model number for the boiler. Without one, I'm still in the dark as to what I'm dealing with. Remember, the only things I know about your situation is what you tell me. I'm also not sure if you're saying there is a separate LWCO besides the operating control, or if you mean the black box is separate from the burner. If you have a model number for the control, that would help too.
Riello 40F5. Code C8512181. SN 10 watts 851,218,102,248 firing rate 0.75 to 1.50 GPH Taco cartridge circulator model 007F5. Those are the only numbers I can find. I hope this helps.
Okay, I did some digging and I think you have a hydro level 3250 control. If it is showing low water and there is pressure on the boiler gauge, then the control is probably faulty, probably because it got wet. You may need to replace the control, but there is something else you can try. Turn the power off to the boiler. There should be a separate switch besides the one on the control. Turn that switch off, or the breaker in your breaker panel, then use a hairdryer on the outside of the control to try to dry it out. This probably won't work, but it's worth a shot. If that doesn't work, you could also leave the boiler off and give it a day to dry out. You'll probably have to replace the control. If the gauge isn't showing any pressure, then it's not an erroneous message and you somehow lost a lot of water in the system. Which would be an odd coincidence. If this is the case, you could try bumping up the pressure. I can explain how if you want to try, but you'll need to call in a pro anyway to fix this, since the boiler pressure should stay at a minimum of 10 to 15 pounds per square inch automatically.
Sure, this is a silly question, but what is the control? The black box or the burner itself where the reset button is?
The black box with the low water light.
I don't see another switch in the box. And I checked the psi on the gauge a little close and there is 15 pounds per square inch. But the temp is on 0. So I should turn off the boiler and try hair dryer on the black box.
Some of these controls have a switch on the box, that's what I was referring to. Turn the power off to the boiler however is convenient. Then use the hair dryer to attempt dry it out. If you can remove the cover on the control first. You don't want to get the control too hot. If it gets too hot to touch, stop with the dryer.
Okay. I'll try.
You can try turning the power back on after a while, but if the low water light doesn't go out, it's not going to work. Good luck.
Thank you. Last question. Do you think that's an expensive part to replace?
Installed cost $500 in the Boston area. Costs do vary around the country.
IT worked. The hair dryer worked. Thank you so much.
Sometimes a long shot pays off. I'm glad this worked for you.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/YTHI.